Welcome back, Red Devils and Culers. The transfer rumors just got exposed, and Fabrizio Romano has spoken. In today's action-packed update, we're diving deep into the truth behind Manchester United's supposed interest in Barcelona's midfield gem Fermin Lopez. Spoiler alert, it's not what the tabloids want you to believe. Plus, United's brutal 15th place finish and what Ruben Amorim is cooking for the rebuild. The Inaki Peña situation, has he played his last game for Barca? Tottenham still eyeing Casado? Could Barcelona cash in? And a surprise position change for Gerard Martin, Hansi Flick's master plan? Grab your seat, because we've got all the facts, reactions and exclusive insights you need right now. Fabrizio Romano has denied reports linking Barcelona midfielder Fermin Lopez with a move to Manchester United. He says there's no truth to the rumors, Barcelona don't want to sell and Fermin hasn't asked to leave. Fermin is considered an important part of Hansi Flick's team after a strong season. Meanwhile, United are rebuilding with other new signings like Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo, and don't need another attacking midfielder. The end of the Premier League 2024-25 proved to be bitter for Manchester United. Finishing 15th felt like a deep blow to the club's glorious history. The defeat at the hands of Spurs in the Europa League final also shattered the remaining hopes. The result was that United will not be seen as contending in any European competition in the 2025-26 season. Ruben Amorim, who took charge of Old Trafford in November, got fewer opportunities and more challenges. In such a situation, now all eyes are completely set on the new season. Under Amorim, United are trying to adopt a 3-4-2-1 system. Under this plan, the club have made 3 consecutive signings this summer. Matheus Cunha from Wolverhampton Wanderers, Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford and young Diogo Leon have been added to the team, keeping the future in mind. With the arrival of these 3, new energy is being felt in the team. Supporters are now beginning to feel that the last bad season was just a stray turn. Reality of the rumors flying in the name of Fermin Lopez. Recently, news started floating on social media that United is eyeing Barcelona's young star Fermin Lopez. However, Fabrizio Romano clarified on his channel that there is nothing concrete in this news. According to him, neither Barcelona are interested in selling him nor has the player put any pressure to leave the club. The release clause of this 22-year-old Spanish attacking midfielder itself indicates how much importance the Catalan club give him. Currently, there is no real evidence that Fermin Lopez will leave Barcelona. The club does not want to sell him, and the only way a transfer could happen this month is if Lopez himself asks the club and the coach Hansi Flick to let him go. Lopez, a product of La Masia, had a strong season and has become an important player in Barcelona's midfield thanks to his positioning, dribbling and work rate. While Manchester United could use a player like him, they have already signed Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo, who fill similar attacking roles. For Manchester United fans, the rumors about Lopez moving seem unlikely because Barcelona sees him as a key part of their future. Also, with players like Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount already in the squad, it would be difficult for United to make space for Lopez in their lineup. On the other hand, the club desperately need a clinical striker, with finishing being a major problem last season. We hope to see United take action in that direction sooner or later, as the attacking midfield depth has been added, but the striker position still remains weak. Instead of focusing on Lopez, Amorim and the board can bring in a natural number 9, which is the only way they can get back into the top 4 race next season. Barcelona head coach Hansi Flick has spoken out on the surprise new role afforded to Gerard Martin in his lineup. This comes, for those who may have missed it, after the 23-year-old took to the pitch in a central position once more on Monday. Martin, of course, is fresh off something of a breakout season in Catalonia's capital last time out, which saw the Spaniard thoroughly impress from his berth at left-back. After last week emerging from the bench to play as a central defender in Barcelona's friendly meeting with FC Seoul, though earlier today Martin was utilized in the same spot from the off against FC Tegu. Speaking to the media on the back of the full-time whistle at the Tegu Stadium, the subject of his stopper's new position was in turn put to manager Hansi Flick. And Barcelona's headmaster went on to confirm, "We have been trying Gerard Martin as a centre-back. This happened previously with Eric, who adapted to a position other than his usual one, and now the same with Gerard. It's good to be able to play in multiple positions." An explanation for the lack of game time afforded to Ferran Torres in Barcelona's latest outing has been forthcoming online. This comes after the Spanish international was forced to watch on from the bench for the entirety of the Blaugrana's meeting with FC Tegu. Barca of course marked their return to action a short time ago. In the final outing of their preseason tour of Asia, Hansi Flick's troops made the trip to South Korea for a friendly meeting with the aforementioned Daegu. When all was said and done, the visitors made it 3 wins from 3 over the course of the last week, courtesy of a 5-0 romp. As alluded to above, though playing no part in as much, somewhat surprisingly, was frontman Ferran Torres. Hansi Flick made use of almost every member of his match squad on Monday, with Ferran fresh off a brace against FC Seoul last time out, one of just 3 players not to have featured for Barcelona. As alluded to above, though, there was good reason for as much. As revealed by Blaugrana insider Victor Navarro, Ferran Torres was going to come on in the second half, but in the end, Tony did. Flick spoke with the number 7 before making the decision. On Saturday, Ferran did not train in the afternoon during the second session. Fatigue. Ferran Torres was expected to come on in the second half of a recent match, but Tony Fernandes ended up taking his place instead. Coach Hansi Flick discussed the decision with Torres beforehand. Torres had missed part of training due to fatigue, which influenced the choice. In that game, Rashford played as the striker, number 9, Tony Fernandes took the left wing position and Bargi played on the right wing. Meanwhile, goalkeeper Inaki Peña didn't get any playing time during Barcelona's entire preseason tour in Asia. Last season he was once the first-choice goalkeeper under Flick, but now he's fallen behind Joan Garcia and Wojciech Szczesny in the team hierarchy, making his situation quite challenging. Should Marc-Andre ter Stegen stay put through the close of the summer window, upon the German's return to fitness, Peña will then be bumped down to 4th choice. And as alluded to above, the lack of faith in the talents of the 26-year-old on the part of Hansi Flick and his staff was reiterated during the club's preseason tour. Peña, for his part, did not take to the pitch for a single minute across Barca's outings against Vissel Kobe, FC Seoul and FC Daegu. The recovering Marc Bernal is the only other Blaugrana player to have endured a completely fruitless tour of Asia. Tottenham have an interest in Marc Casado if the midfielder becomes available, as Thomas Frank is still keen to reinforce the central areas. According to AS, Tottenham had considered making a move for Marc Casado earlier in the window and still holds an interest. The Barcelona midfielder remains happy at the club despite the many links with an exit, and with the club content with his presence too, it would take a big bid to get the player out. Marc Casado was one of the brightest performers for Barcelona in the first half of last season. However, with more options available at Hansi Flick's disposal, the young midfielder found game time difficult to come by and was mostly a bench option in the second half of the campaign. Barcelona are aware of the big interest from top English clubs in Casado, but they are currently happy with the midfielder's presence at the club. Flick has raised concerns of overloads in certain areas of his squad, and there might be some outgoings before the window ends. Casado, for the talent he possesses, could be a big market opportunity for Barcelona to sell. They could, in theory, attract big bids for the 21-year-old breakout whiz kid, with Chelsea and Arsenal recently making inquiries. However, for now, they have reportedly closed the doors for any of their current stars to exit, although that stance could change before the last stretch of the window. The report states the Catalans value the midfielder at €30 million in the current market, although previously, a report stated Chelsea were told to pay €50 million. In any case, Barcelona have no interest in selling, but should a big enough bid arrive, they could potentially consider the prospect of cashing in on the 21-year-old breakout whiz kid. Tottenham hold Marc Casado interest. Tottenham held an interest in Casado earlier, and may continue to keep tabs on his situation until the window shuts. Spurs have already signed Joao Palhinha on loan from Bayern Munich to solve the issues in the defensive midfield position, but new boss Thomas Frank may consider another addition of a younger profile. For now, there are no negotiations ongoing between Tottenham and Barcelona, nor are the two clubs expected to enter into a dialogue. However, any changes to that current situation will depend on Spurs' offer, Casado's preference to leave the Spanish giants and Barcelona's need to sell. And there you have it, folks. Fabrizio shuts down the Fermin Lopez United rumor, for now. Gerard Martin's new role adds fresh depth to Barca's backline. Ferran Torres' absence explained, and no, it's not a transfer twist. Tottenham circling Casado, but will Deco give the green light? With all the puzzle pieces moving in this transfer window, one thing is clear, Barcelona's young stars are hot property. But will they stay or go? Let us know in the comments. Should Barca sell Casado for €30 million plus? Was United ever serious about Fermin? And what's next for Ferran and Peña? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for all the latest on Barcelona, Manchester United, and more transfer drama.